I'm going to be doing a bad French accent at some point during this video, so forgive that. Oh yeah, and I'm back. I'm back from Europe. I'm going to talk about Caitlyn Jenner in a minute, but first, I'm going to talk about French television for no apparent fucking reason. Because I was in France and I was watching French television. I saw an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger in French. That was interesting. I don't think it was actually Walker, Texas Ranger, but I've decided that pretty much anything that has Chuck Norris in it is Walker, Texas Ranger. And it was weird to see Chuck Norris talking in French. You know, it's like, I give him the, how do you say, roundhouse kick. I also saw Batman in French. I've decided that Batman should never be French. You know, it just doesn't fit his character. It's like, hey Joker, why must we fight, huh? Alright, that concludes my French accent portion. And I'm sure I'll talk more about the Euro trip on the Drunken Peasants, which returns this Friday, possibly to this channel, possibly to the Drunken Peasants channel, possibly to our new Rage Feed channel. I don't know where it's going to end up yet, because we're having a copyright dispute with the Cristiano brothers, who are two Christian filmmakers, who are mad at us for using the Hey Scotty clip. You know the clip I'm talking about. Hey Scotty! Jesus, man.
That's me.
That 10-second clip, you know? That is their sacred copyright. But we're not here to talk about that shit. We're here to talk about Caitlyn Jenner. And before we even do that, we have to head a certain segment of the audience off at the pass, and that's the segment of the audience who's like, there's more important things to talk about. What about this? What about that? Yes, you're right. You're right. You're smart. You're so fucking smart. You know, while we idiots are just obsessed with this trivial novelty bullshit, you are thinking of lofty things. Truly, you are a shining beacon on a hill of intellect. Yes. Now that we've told those retards what they want to hear about themselves, we can actually get to the content of the video, which is Caitlyn Jenner, formerly Bruce Jenner, probably the most famous transgender person to date. And Jon Stewart said that the media should not be talking about Caitlyn Jenner in terms of fuckability, because apparently that is offensive. And, you know, I would say 75% of the time with Jon Stewart, I'm in agreement, you know. I say, good job, John. You know what you're talking about. The other 25% of the time, I think he's a smarmy liberal doofus. And this is, this falls into that 25%, honestly. And the reason is, and I should probably preface this by saying that I support the transgender community. I consider myself a trans ally. I respect transgender people. Some of the best people I've ever known have been transgender. But that being said, I am, in some corners of my heart, a very superficial person. So when Bruce Jenner came out as transgender, most of me was like, I support her and I respect her identity. But there was also a part of me that said, you know, that's going to be one ugly bitch. Gotta be honest with you, didn't really think that she was going to make a very attractive female. But I was wrong, honestly, because look at this. I mean, fuck. I don't know if anyone has coined the term trans Milf yet, but Jesus. I mean, what the fuck? How do you go from an ugly man to a very, very attractive woman? Not even in the age range I normally like. I mean, this would be like if Wayne Knight announced he was transgender and then a month later he looked like Mila Kunis. Or is it Mila Kunis? Hell, it might even be Mia Kunis. I don't know. Shut up, Meg. What does it matter? But, you know, a lot of people probably are saying, TJ, what you're saying right now is very ignorant. Well, I got a solution for that. I'm going to point out some people who are more ignorant than I am, and that should help take the heat off me a little bit. Like Mike Huckabee, for instance. You hear what Mike Huckabee said? Mike Huckabee said, well, hell, if they had this transgender nonsense back when I was a whippersnapper, I could have pretended I was a girl to watch other girls in the shower. I'm like, the fuck? First of all, aren't you supposed to be some kind of like Christian or whatever? So that doesn't sound very Christian, but whatever, you know. I guess it was kind of a joke. But, you know, I don't think a lot of boys are going to be sitting there like, you know what? My great scheme to see girls in the shower is I'll just pretend to be a girl all the time. So that, you know, for that 5 minutes a day when we all go in the locker room, I can get that little thrill. Like, woo, titties! Ah! You know, I'm going to walk around with a dress and pretend to be transgender and go through therapy and take hormones and all kinds of other shit. Just so, you know, I can get a cheap little thrill for 5 minutes every weekday in the locker room. And I can go home and write about it in my journal. Today I stared at Tiffany's tits. And I'm also growing some of my own. Luckily for me, I already have tits. I didn't need to be transgender to get these voluptuous orbs of deliciousness that are growing right here. And, another thing that someone said, this was someone in my own audience, I was saying, you know, I said in a Tumblr response, I said, you know, I respect Caitlyn Jenner's identity and, you know, I respect her gender and all that shit. And someone's like, well, what if I said I was a German Shepherd? Would you respect that? So I threw a stick. I'm like, fetch! Let's see how fucking committed you are to this premise before I decide whether or not I'm going to respect that identity. And yeah, I'm vaping now. I'm still smoking as well, but I'm trying to phase that out. Anyway, I'm back. Maze and Atheist, peace the fuck out!
You're garbage, TJ.
I know.
Good for you.
New edgy, TJ.
I'm edgy now?
You're edgy. We eat. We drink. We smoke.
We die.
Yeah, you knew death was coming.
You
knew death was coming.
I knew it was going to be there.
So, TJ, now that you're back, you're like edgy, TJ, I've noticed. Now you're like, I'm TJ, bros! What's up? Now I'm all sophisticated! Woo!
Was I acting sophisticated?
Yes, you're trying to act like...
I'm trying to act sophisticated. It just rubbed off on me. You know, another thing...
TJ actually stole this hat.
I stopped saying, ugh, and I started saying, ugh.
You stole that hat from someone. On the trip, TJ stole a bunch of hats.
I stole hats, and I stole a bracelet.
And he stole hearts, too.
I stole a bracelet from somebody, and they said, promise me you'll keep this. And I said I would, but then one day it annoyed me, and I threw it away. So I shouldn't have done that. But,
Whoever gave you that bracelet, fuck you, basically.
You know, I'm sorry. It was annoying me. It was cutting off circulation in my hand.
Was that blue bracelet
It
you
was
stole?
the blue bracelet.
So if, like, you're
Sorry.
a fan of TJ's and
Sorry,
you meet him,
person.
he'll probably take your shit, then throw it away.
Yeah.
Not except hats. If you have a hat,
hats.
the hat is good.
Anyone has a hat that's my size, I will steal it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.